Hey, what's up guys, Sir Emanon here, and welcome to another feature match commentary on the channel today. So this is going to be for round 1 of my brand new edition of the online Discord server tournament. This is edition number 6, I do believe. So if you guys do want to participate in the next one, definitely be sure to check out the link to the Discord server. I'll leave it down in the description box below as per usual. But this is going to be round one, like I mentioned, and it's going to be featuring Sinindo on the Karakuri Synchro deck that you guys wanted to see, versus Hands to Midnight on Dogmatika Invoked. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and get started here. We're going to see an intense rock, paper, scissors battle. Who's going to win it? Looks like it's going to be Sinindo, so we're going to see Karakuri get to go first. And yeah, we're going to get to see exactly how this deck combos off. We're going to be doing quite a lot of reading. I did go over this replay just to kind of get a general sense of what this deck is going for, but a lot of you guys may be unfamiliar with the cards. So the opener is going to be Heavy Forward, which is a Rota for Infinitrack monsters. You can see that's a part of this engine here. On activation, it also allows you to either switch the battle position of a machine exceeds or attach this card to its material. Doesn't really come up that much, but definitely could, I guess, in theory. Then we have Infinitrack Anchor Drill, which is a marauding captain for Earth machines when it's normal or specialed, and also allows it to level modulate both itself and one other machine monster by combining their total levels, and then they both become that sum total. So if you have like a 4 plus a 5, you can make 9, for example. And then you have Quick Draw Synchron, Karakuri Nidishi, which all the Karakuris have these basic effects where they force to attack and they change your battle positions when targeted for an attack, and they all have a bonus effect. This one is a double normal summon, similar to Seraphinite. This, to my knowledge, doesn't really come up as much in this build since I believe the Karakuri is more of like an engine, so it's less of a Karakuri focus, but it definitely could be used in a pinch. It's also a tuner. And then finally we have Ghost Spell. So for the Dogmatika Invoked hand, it's going to be Ecclesia, Invocation, Magical Meltdown, Alistair, and another Invocation. So no hand traps, and we do get to see how this deck is trying to combo off here. So Heavy Forward is going to go ahead and activate for a copy of Infinitrack Trencher. This allows you to tribute an Earth Machine to special from your hand, and it also banishes itself from the graveyard to be a reborn for Infinitracks. So he's going to go ahead and then normal summon the Anchor Drill, which can summon the Trencher out of hand. He's then going to level modulate, so they both become level 9. Then going to pitch the Ninishi for the Quick Draw Synchron, summoning that out from his hand, and then going into a copy of Hcabe. You guys probably saw this one coming. Not really a 2020 combo, going into 2021 without this card. Gonna summon out Deskbot 1 off of the Fiber, then making those into a copy of Auroradon. All of the deck is machines, so not really too surprised that this is an inclusion. It seems to make a lot of sense. Both the Infinitrack engine and the Karakuri engine both help make this, so pretty natural as well to use this as a supplementary piece. That's going to summon out 3 level 3 tokens, followed by a copy of Despot 1 from the graveyard. Then he's going to synchro a level 7 into a copy of Karakuri Shogun Beret. All the Karakuri synchros essentially have the ability to special summon a Karakuri from your deck on synchro summon. And then they have an additional bonus effect. Berets allows you to change a monster's battle position as an ignition effect, which definitely matters because that's part of the gimmick for the Karakuris, as we'll see in just a bit. But off of its effect, we're going to see a summon of Karakuri Watchdog Saizon, and then that's a level 4 tuner, so he's going to synchro that away with a level 3 into a copy of Beret yet again. This is not a hard once per turn, so he's going to go ahead and synchro a copy of Karakuri Shiro Kunishi, which is a new level 1 tuner. This actually came out in Ignition Assault. I actually totally forgot that these cards were released in that set because a lot of people kind of overlooked them, but this is one of the new support cards alongside the new Synchro. Basically, this has a quick effect to banish it from the graveyard and then change a Karakuri's battle position, which you'll see the synergy between that and the new Synchro in just a bit here. But that's going to be synchroed away with one of the Berets into a copy of Beredo. This, again, allows you to summon from deck, so he's going to choose to summon a copy of Beryl Shinkuro, and this allows you to draw a card when a Karakuri's battle position is changed once per turn. So he's going to use the Beret to switch the Shinkuro, triggering the Beredo, and that's going to draw 1 card. Draw a copy of Tuning. We saw the Quick Draw Synchron, so not really that much of a surprise here. Going to synchro away the Shinkuro plus the Beret into a copy of the new Synchro, which is Berebu. I guess it's not really that new, but new relative to the rest of the deck, which is like really old. Like the Karakuris are quite old. But Berebu also has the effect on summon to special a Karakuri from deck. But additionally, if a Karakuri's battle position is changed, you can target a card on the field or that your opponent controls and then banish it. So you can see the synergy here with the Shiro Kunishi. You can quick effect, change this battle position, and then this just goes ahead and banishes something. It also provides battle protection to defense position monsters as well, which is somewhat relevant if you're like protecting specifically Karakuris that change your own battle positions. But this is going to go ahead and bring out another copy of Shiro Kunishi. Then that's going to be synchroned with the copy of Beredo on the field for a copy of Virtual World Shen Shen, which is a generic, by the way. That's going to allow them to overlay with the already level modulated Anchor Drill, which is level 9 previously, into a copy of True King of All Calamities. So this is like pretty similar to a Virtual World board, right? You got VFD plus a themed sort of Chuche. It's just a banish instead of a pop. So basically it's the same thing, right? And you have a hand trap to back it up. So yeah, this is like a Virtual World board, right? Pretty cool. But yeah, it's going to go ahead and be the end of that combo. For turn, we're going to see a top-decked Ash. Not what you want to see at this point, unfortunately. But we're going to see Calamities come down, and it's going to call Light. Something to note here is that both players, I assume, are talking in Discord because they haven't been saying anything at all in chat. The only thing that was said was the attribute off of VFD. So just something to consider. But Magical Meltdown is going to be activated. That's going to search for a copy of Alistair. And then going to null summon the Alistair. Since we hard drew the invocation, we can still summon. So he's going to use that. Getting rid of the Ash as well as the Alistair to summon a copy of Purgatrio. The attributes in the graveyard for the Karakuri player are Wind, Earth, and Water. And it's pretty unlikely that he's on Raijin, Magellanica, and Casitas. So pretty cool that that actually incidentally just plays around the invoked attributes there. But Invocation going to go ahead and recycle itself and add back Alistair to hand. And from here, just going to have to pass because can't really do anything since he declared Light, can't activate the Ecclesia. So on the end phase, we're going to see the Shiro Kunishi banish itself and then switch the battle position of the Berebu. That's going to go ahead activate to banish the Purgatrio. And that is just going to be the end of game number 1 here. So you guys got to see the very fun dragon in action, but it's cool to see it in a different lens, that being the Karakuris. You can get some advantage along the way with the Beredo, which is cool. And it's nice to see kind of this deck still being able to do stuff. But we're going to go ahead and move into game number 2 now, and we're going to see Dogmatika Invoked go first. If you are enjoying this commentary, definitely be sure to leave a like on the video, and consider subscribing if you're new here and enjoy this style of video. But we're going to go ahead and see the opening hand for Dogmatika Invoked to be double copies of Ash, Alistair, Skullmeister, and Invocation. So it would have been nice to see these hand traps last hand, but granted, I don't really entirely know for sure if these are the best hand traps against this deck in particular, but we'll see how it pans out. Still has access to the invoked portion of the deck, but no Dogmatika cards here. And then for Karakuri, we see the opening hand is Quick, which allows you to reborn a level 4 or lower Karakuri when it destroys a monster by battle. We have Anchor Drill again, Ash Blossom, the Shinkuro, which has battle protection once per turn, and finally Sazank, which allows you to send a face-up monster in the field to the graveyard when this card is flipped face up, and also can attack directly that turn whenever it's flipped up. So presumably these effects don't really come up that often. They're just there because they have various levels and various typings. Typings being, of course, tuner versus non-tuner for synchro plays. But we're going to see Dogmatika Invoked start off with a copy of Alistair. That's going to get ashed. But of course, the hallmark of a good invoked player is drawing the invocation straight up. So we're going to see after the Magistus link being made, a copy of the invoked Hcabe. Not really anything too shocking there. Gonna recycle Invocation and add back Alistair, and then pass on functionally 3 interruptions. For turn, we're gonna see a top deck tuning, which is pretty good. That'll help get to quick draw, and tuner is always appreciated. But the tuning is going to get ashed, so no search there. Anchor Drill gonna come down next as a normal summon that's going to attempt to summon an Earth Machine from hand. But we're gonna see that be negated by the Hcabe in response, pitching the other Ash out of hand and banishing the Anchor Drill. And from here, these don't really have any good mechanisms to get themselves onto the board without additional card effects, so gonna be forced to pass on this. That I feel is one of the downsides of these cards when you're not owning in on a lot of the other Karakuri names. I assume these are all probably just one-ofs to go for in your combo. But yeah, these just end up being kind of dead cards at this point in time. We're going to see a copy of Nibiru drawn for turn, which is not really anything too amazing right now, but good as a backup. He's going to switch Hcabe to attack position and then go for a copy of Alistair the Invoker. That's going to summon or search for a copy of Invocation. He's then going to link into a copy of Almirage and then fire off this Invocation. That's going to send away the Skullmeister in hand, actually, as well as banishing the Alistair for a copy of Invoked Kaliga. This allows you to basically floodgate both players from activating or attempting to activate only one monster effect per turn, which is a important distinction from activating. Like, attempting to activate is different since it pairs nicely with this Hcabe here. Additionally, it locks both players into attacking only once during each battle phase, or with one monster, that is. So that pairs nicely with Purgatrio. So the Invocation is going to be recycled and adding back Alistair. It's interesting to see this being played. I do wonder if this is going to be used more, since all the VWs and the Drytrons kind of have to activate at various points, and it's hard for them to out this card without that. Like VW has some means, like for example Kowloon for Qinglong, but in a lot of other cases, some decks just have difficulty outing this card. So it's cool to see this making an appearance here. But battle phase, we're going to see the Hcabe attacking. That's going to get in for 25, and then going to pass back. We're going to see a copy of Ash, one turn too late. But just going to set the copy of Shinkuro, notably because this has kind of an attack restriction, being only one monster per turn, and this protects itself from battle. That definitely could be a suitable wall for a bit. But for turn, we're going to see a hard-drawn copy of Invocation. So Alistair is going to be normal summoned. That effect is going to get ashed, but that is the turn where Invocation is drawn again. So both times where Alistair got ashed, the Invocation was already in hand. So, must be nice. But Purgatrio going to be coming down next. And this is Piercing, which is pretty cool in this particular instance. Invocation going to recycle the Alistair, and then we're going to go ahead and proceed to the battle phase. This Purgatrio is on 25 because of its effect, so that is going to deal 2100. And then he attempts to attack with Hcabe, kind of forgetting about the Kaliga here, but remembering, so just going to pass. Again, this can't be destroyed by battle once per turn. So this is a decent wall to sit behind for a little bit. For turn, we're going to see Karakuri draw a copy of Ghost Bell, which is not particularly great here. Now, he could try and go for like a fiber play, but there's this Hcabe here, which is, not going to really allow for that. So with that, he's just going to go ahead and concede. He could have sat behind his defense position wall, but also Handsome Minute could have just linked away the Kaliga and then proceeded to do more invoked plays. So it was unlikely that Karakuri was going to come back from that one. But moving into game 3 now, we're going to be seeing Karakuri go first yet again. And the opener is going to be Despot 1, Ash Blossom, Ghost Bell, Shiro Kanishi, as well as Tuning. So not great to see this in hand, but it's not awful either. It's at least a tuner. And tuning as well at least helps you get into your fibers. So it's still a guaranteed fiber. And then for Dogmatika Invoked, we see the hand is going to be Ecclesia, Magical Meltdown, Pankratops, Evenly Matched, and Skullmeister. Interesting to see if Skullmeister is going to be enough here. I guess we will find out. So main phase 1, going to go ahead and activate a copy of Tuning. That's going to search for a Quick Draw Synchron, milling another copy of Tuning, it looks like. So not great, but at least not like any engine requirements. Going to go ahead and pitch the Shiro Kanishi to summon out Quick Draw. Then going to normal summon the Despot 1 and go for a copy of Fiber. This can summon like the machine tuners from the Karakuri lineup too, which is cool. This is going to actually summon out another copy of Despot 1, so he's on multiples, meaning that he's probably playing Despot 3 as well. I don't have the list in front of me, and I haven't checked them since registration for the tournament, but that is a pretty telltale sign, if they're on 2 Despot 1s, they're probably on the Despot 3. He's then going to go ahead and link summon a copy of Mecha Phantom Beast Auroradon. That is going to go ahead and summon out 3 level 3 tokens, prompting both of the Despot 1s in the graveyard here. And it looks like Skullmeister is going to be used in response to one of them, but the other one will still be able to come out. So let's see if that does end up being a hindrance. We did see last time kind of the just the setup got there for most of it, right? So this might still be enough to make VFD. Going to Herald, so deviating a little bit, kind of interested to see where this goes now. Mecha Fan Beast Auroradon, going to tribute out the 2 tokens and then go for the Cult Wing. We didn't see this in game 1 either. So a lot of different lines, a lot of different ways to adapt here, which is cool to see. But Cult Wing summoning out 2 more tokens, that's going to trigger the copy of Despot 1 in the graveyard. Could have actually triggered both of them. I'm not sure, because again, they're not typing, they're just chatting in voice chat. But he could have like prompted this twice, actually, like Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2 again, even though there's only 1 spot on the board to play around a second copy of Meister, since that's not once per turn. But we're going to see Beret come down next off of that token, or the 2 tokens rather, plus the Despot 1. Level 7 Seeker, we're going to summon a copy of Sizan from the deck. And now, because this Cold Wing is back down to level 4, it is now going to be perfect material for Beredo. That's going to summon a copy of the Shinkuro. And now we can use Beret, switch it, draw a card, and then go into more plays here. Beredo is going to pick up another copy of Ghost Bell. Not great, but at least it's a free card. You could also go into the Berebu, the new one, summon a level 1 tuner, if there are any. I don't know exactly what the lineup is, but if you go for that, you can make VFD this way. So yeah, gonna go summon out a copy of Berebu. That's going to summon a... Oh, right, the Shurikenishi, right. We saw this. We've been seeing this the whole time. But yeah, there's the level 1 tuner. And then going to summon a copy of Shenshen. And then make a VFD. So VFD Herald. Pretty cool. This has to, let's see, banish 2 other monsters with different original types and attributes. So it's hard because they're all machines pretty much. But I guess if you send away a Hand Trap or a Herald, that's how you can get the alternative typing in graveyard to bring this back to push for game. So yeah, this is pretty nice. I like that there's space for hand traps in this deck. That's cool. There's probably a lot of bricks, but I mean, you take what you can get, right? For turn, we're going to see a top deck copy of Nadir's Servant, which is pretty good. Calamity is going to be shotgunned right away. That's going to be calling light. Once again, because against Dogmatika. Gonna start with a copy of Magical Meltdown. That's going to search for a copy of Alistair. Pretty interested to see that he didn't go for the evenly. Like, because he can't attack anyway, so the battle phase really doesn't matter here. Thanks to the VFD, of course. So you go like fire off evenly to trade with the Herald. And the reason that matters is that you can actually summon out the Pancratops since it doesn't activate to summon. Like, you just leave this here and then trade with like one of these monsters, and that would be like totally fine. So kind of curious because he's not really going to get a chance to use this now that this Meltdown's on field. We're going to see an activation of Nadir's Servant. That's probably worth using Bell or Ash on. Although, like, actually, you can't send Entis because Entis is light, and we saw light was the attribute called for VFD, but it could still send like Titaniclad, so probably still worth it. Or you could send like Alp Cologne, which could be relevant. Although I guess it's less relevant without Maximus. But actually, Meister is a dark, so that could have been a play, I guess. Because Schism, sending VFD could have been a thing. But regardless, that's actually going to resolve, sending Titaniclad to search another Ecclesia. So, yeah, these can be used under Herald, by the way, because they only require themselves to be discarded. They don't have to be specifically sent to the graveyard. You can compare them to Skullmeister, which specifies that it has to be sent specifically to the graveyard. So this can't activate under Herald, but these can. They would just get banished instead. Just a fun little fact in case you guys did not know. But we're going to see Pancratops come down, of course, built-in summon. Doesn't start a chain. And then setting a copy of Alistair, since this does work when it is flipped face up as well. So that's going to be the end phase. And then it's going to go ahead and trigger the Titaniclad for a search. Oh, you forgot to. Looks like. Yeah, because this affects the monsters in your opponent's possession with the declared attribute. But it only changes the attribute of the monsters on the field, not the ones in the graveyard. So this is still a dark, meaning that because the light was called, this can be used still. It's why Ecclesia can't be used in hand, but this can. But for turn, we're going to see a top decked heavy forward. He's going to switch the Calamities to attack position. Yeah, he's banishing the Titaniclad. I think he's like signaling that he forgot it. Because again, they're not typing in chat, they're talking in voice chat. So Calamity is going to come down next, or be activated rather. That's going to be calling Earth. So it's going to go ahead and prompt the Pancratops in response. Looks like the VFD was targeted, I do believe. Let me just check real fast. Yeah, pointed at VFD. And then Herald's going to negate. So yeah, if evenly cleared that Herald, then this could have like traded for one of these monsters, and that could have been potentially more favorable. Also, the fact that Titanical had missed a search for release means that there's a potential for that to matter when it comes to going for game, since release could be a blocker for damage. But heavy forward, gonna go ahead and activate a copy of the Trencher. Oh, you know what's cool actually? This called Earth, and Rodon's machine, so you can actually tribute the Rodon to summon it. That's pretty cool. Not really sure how far that gets you, but it's a cool thing to kind of think about. It'd be better if there was a Anchor Drill or the level 4 one in Graveyard so that this can actually reborn that as well. But I guess there's not a big point in doing that. Like into tributing this, it just is cool. We see no summon Ghost Belt actually, so maybe going for just an additional Fiber play perhaps. Yeah, it looks like it. So Fiber gonna go ahead and summon out a copy of Ninishi. Let me actually read the exact wording on this card real fast. And read Fiber. Okay, so Fiber says it can't activate its effects this turn, but I do believe this operates, again, similarly to Gemknight Seraphonite, where this doesn't actually activate to gain the additional normal. It's just like a continuous while it's on the field. So if there was an appropriate Karakuri in hand, I think you can still apply the effect off of Fiber. Somebody can correct me if I'm mistaken, but that is, I believe, the case given what these cards, or how these cards read. But that's not going to be relevant, of course, because there's no Karakuris. Just going to link off into, oh, another copy of Auroradon. I guess it makes sense to play too. I mean, you're playing so many machines, right? So might as well. So many machines and tuners, it's really easy to ladder into this. Especially when you have, again, the Karakuris to help summon off of Fiber to ladder up into this. So we're going to see 3 tokens being summoned, and that's going to prompt the Despot 1 to come out yet again. And then going for another copy of Beret. We know he's on 2 from game 1. So that's going to bring out a copy of Shinkuro. And then that, as well as the Beret, is going to summon out Berebu. And then Berebu is going to summon out a copy of Ninishi. This is a 4 or 3 and a 3. So you can go for a Coral Dragon. No, gonna go for Naturia Barkion. Pretty interesting. Maybe he just doesn't have better stuff to play. But actually, oh, this can't be made, I don't think, because it has to require non-tuner Earths, and this token's a Wind, I think, right? Yeah, so unless I'm mistaken. Oh, no, because of the VFD, right? It becomes Earth. Yeah, that's right. So, right, yeah, all monsters in the field. Because, again, to play with Auroradon earlier. Oh, yeah, so even though tributing the Auroradon itself didn't end up mattering, the fact that the token became Earth did matter. So that's actually cool. I totally, completely just didn't even catch that. But we're going to see Shurikenishi change the Berebu. And then Berebu going to bash the Alistair. And then Battle Phase, we're just going to attack for game with everybody. And that'll do it. So it looks like Karakuri takes this match 2-1. Very, very fascinating to see this deck do some combos. I mean, we're ending on the big elephant in the room, the format monstrosity that is a VFD. But all things considered, it's cool to see these cards in action. I'm not really sure how well this deck is constructed to play against a lot of disruptions, since there weren't a whole ton of disruptions in the games that were won. But nonetheless, it's cool to see it still was able to combo off through the Skullmeister, so that's cool for sure. So definitely gonna keep an eye out for this one. Hopefully it does well and ends up making it pretty far. But that's gonna do it for the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a like as well as any thoughts or feedback in the comments. Subscribe for more informative and competitive Yu-Gi-Oh content. If you want to, you can follow me on all social media platforms or support me via Patreon and TCG Player, all the links in the description as usual. And until next time, I'll catch you in the next video. See you guys.